why you shouldn't care what anyone else thinks about you. Now, we've all been there, there's that nagging voice inside your head, you're worried about what your friend over there is thinking about you. Perhaps you think you've said something wrong, or they're looking at you a weird way, or even maybe you walk down the road, you see someone you know across the street, you wave at them, but they seem to blank you. We've all been there, but worrying about what other people think of you is a waste of energy. So Gary Vee talks about this. If you haven't heard of Gary Vee, go and look him up. He's an amazing guy. But he talks about this. He says, 99% of people who judge you or, might say something not very nice are projecting their insecurities onto you. 99% of people who do this, that's what they're doing. They are projecting their unhappiness. They may have some issues, whatever it is, but they are projecting those issues onto you when they are being unkind. It's nothing to do with you. And sometimes people don't even realize they're doing this. They're too caught up in their everyday life, one thing after another happening in their life, and they don't know what they're doing. But essentially, these people are like running on autopilot. And in the process of that, they're acting a certain way, saying certain things and reflecting how they're feeling onto you. Someone who is genuinely happy is not going to be unkind to other people. It just doesn't happen. If you're comfortable in yourself and how you feel in your life, if you're genuinely a happy person, if you're in a good place mentally, as well as just in your life, and you're happy, why are you going to cause other people misery? You're just not going to do that. These kind of people that are genuinely happy don't feel the need to bring others down. I truly believe this. If you're a kind, good person, loving, kind and good, you're spreading positivity, you've got nothing to worry about. And you certainly don't need to be thinking what other people might be saying about you. Just leave them to it. It's a waste of energy. There's that good saying, right? Surround yourself with people that lift you up. That's so true. So why do some people feel the need or the urge to bring other people down and spread negativity? What's going on? Now, I touched on the fact that these people are mostly unhappy people within themselves. They're not happy in their lives, right? And that's sad, it truly is. But what is going on? Well, there's a lot going on beneath the surface, and it can be really helpful to understand. So there's a part of our brains called the amygdala, and it's often referred to as the brain's fear center. So if we perceive something as a threat, for example, even if it's just a social threat, like someone expressing themselves differently, something that we're not used to, or just if a situation changes unexpectedly, the amygdala can trigger the fight or flight response, and I'm sure you've heard about that. This can sometimes manifest as judgmental behavior. So, for example, imagine you're at a party and someone starts sharing very unconventional opinions, something that you would never think yourself you don't agree with. If your amygdala perceives these opinions as a threat to your own beliefs, it might trigger feelings of anxiety or even anger. This is completely natural, but this can then lead to you feeling the urge to criticize or dismiss their views, even if you don't consciously intend to. And it's the same with people that don't like change, and this is very, very common. The neurological response to change is well documented in scientific research. So when these types of people are faced with unexpected changes, their amygdala can activate their body's stress response system, triggering the release of cortisol. So according to studies published in the Journal of Neuroscience, this physiological reaction explains why so many people experience anxiety when they confront unfamiliar situations. And this is so interesting. And according to these scientific papers that are published in the Journal of Neuroscience, this physiological reaction explains why so many people find certain social situations hard, and that when they might expect something, but it's actually different, so there's a change, it explains why their amygdala suddenly fires those stress responses. And this varies from person to person. It depends on, if they've learned any coping mechanisms, how they've been brought up, all kinds of stuff. But understanding this very natural biological process helps us then understand why certain people find change hard. And the other thing is, it's really important to understand and be aware that Every single person in this world wears different glasses. Now, I'm not on about physical glasses, I'm on about the lens in which you see the world, and everyone is different, you know, from how you're brought up. It could be absolutely anything. There are so many variables, but each person sees the world completely differently. Even your current mood, which is affected by how well you slept that night before. So what I'm trying to get at here is that if someone judges you or says something not very nice, don't take it to heart. Just don't worry about it. Don't take it personally, because one, they may have had a rubbish night's sleep the night before, or two, it's just in their wiring, it's in their brain's wiring just to be like that, unfortunately. It's not your problem, it's theirs. On the flip side, we have the brain's prefrontal cortex, which is almost like the control center. Now, this is responsible for decision making, problem solving, and emotional regulation. Now, the prefrontal cortex, and this is something that blew my mind actually, it keeps on growing and developing until you are 25 to 30 years old. So the prefrontal cortex is just behind your forehead here, between your eyes. This is where your prefrontal cortex is. And this doesn't stop growing, this doesn't stop developing until you're nearly 30. By strengthening our prefrontal cortex through meditation or mindfulness, self-reflection, we can better regulate our emotions and then respond more thoughtfully and compassionately to others. I've meditated for many years. I can't even remember when not meditating. I started a long time ago, and it literally changed my life. If you don't meditate, I would strongly urge you to look into it and start just 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. It's all you need to do, and gradually it just develops such an awareness for the here and now. It's incredible. If you don't meditate, it will change your life. We all have moments of judgment. It's just part of being human. We all make mistakes, and we all say things that we later regret. But the way to go about it is ask yourself, why did I think that? What led me to suddenly think that? Why did I react that way? Or what was going on for me in that moment for me to think like that? Understanding these things can help you develop greater self-awareness, and ultimately you can then break free from these patterns. Something I would highly recommend is adopting a growth mindset. So imagine your brain as a muscle. It can grow and strengthen with the right training. Just like lifting weights to grow muscle, you can exercise your brain to create new neural pathways through something called neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout your entire life. It means that your brain can actually form new connections and pathways. And this actually happens even as an adult and into old age. This is amazing news. And practices like meditation can significantly help and boost neuroplasticity. When you meditate, you're essentially training your brain to focus and become more aware. This strengthens the connections between different brain regions, improving your attention, your focus, and your emotional regulation. And I actually got my grandmother meditating many years ago. I remember her going through a stage where she couldn't sleep. I was meditating at the time, I'd been doing it for a while, and I talked to her about it. I recommended her that just to try it, sit down 5-10 minutes, and there was this amazing app called Headspace. If you haven't heard of Headspace, go and have a look. It's incredible. But she tried using Headspace, she got into it, she loved it, and long story short, from the first time she meditated, she slept that night, and she just slept well every night after. And in addition to meditation, exploring topics like personal growth through podcasts can be really valuable. Every time I learn something new about myself or the world, I feel like I've unlocked a new level of understanding. You know, it's important to understand that we don't control how we're brought up or our environment, but we are in control of the here and now. And so we can actively work on growing our mindset and improving the way we think and all sorts. It's like a snowball effect. You start and it just gets bigger and better. It's incredible. And for me personally, my faith, my relationship with God has helped me enormously. I can't stress this enough. I can't talk about this enough. I'm extremely passionate about being a Christian and my faith. It's everything. You know, I've been through a very, very hard time in the last two years ago. He helped me, and he made some incredible things happen and continues to do so through prayer. Prayer is an incredible thing. So I would just encourage you to look into starting to grow your relationship with God. If you don't go to church, perhaps find a local church. You know, there are some lovely people out there that will help you along that journey. Again, I would urge you to surround yourself with people that lift you up and celebrate your successes. And remember, you are unique and amazing. There's only one of you in this world. Embrace your individuality. Don't care what other people think. Be you. So I'd love to ask you just one thing. Please, if you enjoyed this video, give it a quick like and let's inspire each other. Leave a comment in the comment section below, just telling me if this video helped you. If it has, that would mean it would mean the world. So please let me know. And if you want to watch more videos, subscribe. Thank you so much. See you soon.